Welcome to Season 2 of the Shekina Meditation Podcast, created by community members and friends of Shekina Garden in Pai, Thailand. Shekina communities are dedicated to creating free devotional spaces of Christian practice for spiritual seekers and travelers around the world. We post Christ-centered guided meditation each week to help you in your personal or small group practice. You can find episode show notes and other information at shekinacommunity.com.
Hello friends, this is Ro and Ray here.
Hi.
It's Season 3, Episode 4 of our meditation podcast. Welcome. So glad to have you along for this episode. As always, our dearly beloved patrons are supporting this podcast. We're always raising money to help keep our community running, and your patronage is part of the way that we do that. You can find us at patreon.com/Shekina Meditation Podcast if you would like to support us.
Another way you can support us is by rating or reviewing us on iTunes or sharing the podcast in some other way. Maybe it's on one of your social media accounts, or maybe you just tell the people in your apartment building. Maybe you like or subscribe on YouTube, or send a video to someone, or share with your family and friends in some way. When you support the podcast, we know that you appreciate us putting it into the world. So thank you so much. We feel like we're with you. Thank you.
It's so fun hearing from people all over the place, getting into this beautiful practice of meditating together. So today's episode is Lectio Divina on verses from John chapter 1 with you, Ray. So first of all, Ray is going to offer some exercises to help us find quiet readiness for meditation, letting our mind and our body find stillness. Secondly, she'll guide through the verses with lots of space for our own contemplation and meditation.
And third, we recommend that you spend some time processing your meditation. So that can be with others if you're meditating with others in a sharing circle, maybe using a talking stick or a stone or something to pass around and listen to each person. Or if you're on your own, maybe spend some time journaling or drawing, or make a little voice recording, or process it in some other way so that you can bring it into the rest of your day.
Let's begin.
So let's begin with our posture. And you can stretch a little if you need to, move any muscles that feel a bit achy or stiff or sore. Feel free to stretch. And this is not a meditation. You really have to hold one position, but it's nice to start really seated with our spines straight. Maybe the crown of your head is sort of rising, like it's got a string tied to the very crown. It's just heading up into the atmosphere. And as you sit like this, making room in between your ribs and your spine, and begin to focus on your breath. Becoming aware of the way your lungs fill and then empty. Maybe following the line of your breath, following the pathway all the way in and all the way out. Stay with this rhythm for a while. Perhaps this rhythm is something that really helps to slow you down, slow your thoughts, leading you from one state into another. You can become aware of your sense of touch. Be maybe the noticing where you are connected to the mat beneath you, how gravity pulls you and holds you, becoming aware of the air on your skin, gentle touches. When you're ready, you can become aware, bring your awareness to your sense of hearing and the sounds that are around you. Here we are with nature sounds around us. There are human sounds. You can hear sounds that are very far away and sounds that are very close. Take a moment and follow some sounds. Just see where they take you. Sounds are always a part of our meditation. The sound of my voice, the sound of far off things or close things. As you meditate, you can use sound to remind you to come back to your place of focus. You can use it inside of your meditation. You can play with sounds. It's something that can be a tool for you rather than something that feels like it's taking you out of meditation. We all come to this space now with many thoughts. We have what has happened to us already, around us already today. We have plans and thoughts of the future. Take a moment and imagine that your thoughts are like leaves floating on the top of a stream at your feet. Each one you can see as a leaf. Watch it as it goes by. When you're ready, begin to follow these leaves, his stream, noticing how the water moves as you walk beside the stream. The way thoughts collect. And finally, observing as they empty, as the stream empties into a still, quiet pond, a little body of water, a pool of water. You can imagine where this is. Is it in a forest or in a field? Just a very still, quiet little pool of water. Everything becomes still. This is your place of meditation, a place for you to sit in the divine presence and be, where you don't have to figure everything out. You can simply sit here. This is a place of love and welcome for you. Invitation to sit and be surrounded by the Spirit of God. And you can always return to this place at any time in the meditation. You are not alone here. The gentle presence of God is around you. And if you feel comfortable, you can offer some words of invitation or desire, intention. just inside, internally. I will read the words, this divine reading, 3 times for this first reading. Allow the words to maybe move by you like as though they're on the wind or as though they're just moving over you. See if any call to you, asking for further examination, for further play. Just allow them to go by. From John 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him, all things were made. Without him, nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father full of grace and truth. In the second reading, there will be a lot of space in between each verse, so you have the ability to go deeper. As you hear these words, you can imagine what they mean. You play with the sound of them. Really be like a child and use your imagination. Allow yourself the freedom of play. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him, nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all humankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. During this third reading, he can find anything that is calling to you again, anything that you want to take with you, that you want to dive into deeper. Allowing the words to surround you again and go by, seeing which ones are the ones that are interesting or bringing new awareness to you today. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all humankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world. And though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. Return to your breath when you are ready. Thinking again of what it is from this meditation you'd like to carry with you today. Is there a seed that you want to plant and see it grow larger? Are there words that you want to repeat to yourself? Calling this gift of breath as it fills your lungs, as the air empties into the air around you. When you are ready, you can come back to this space for our third part of meditation, the sharing circle, talking circle. And we'll know that everyone is ready when we're all seated and we have our eyes open. Take your time, don't rush.
Thank you for joining today. There will be a new guided meditation available each week, so don't forget to subscribe to iTunes or sign up for our newsletter to get podcasts delivered to your inbox at www.shekinacommunity.com/podcast newsletter. Also, you can rate or review on iTunes or sign up as a patron at patreon.com/Shekina Meditation Podcast. Have a beautiful week. Many blessings to you.